It's all covered in today's China Truths.
After President Trump raised tariffs on Chinese imports to 145%, China's internet community was in an uproar, with online videos posted daily showing foreign manufacturing and trading companies in mourning, many of which had closed their doors to give workers a long summer break. The manufacturing industry was stagnant and gloomy. Analysts believe the U.S.-China tariff war has exposed Xi Jinping's true intentions, and other countries will no longer cooperate with the CCP. On Thursday, the White House announced that tariffs on small packages from China would be raised to 120%. Insiders revealed that Amazon had canceled orders for various Chinese products. Is China's export sector on the verge of collapse? Chinese media reported that a large number of cargo ships on the China-U.S. route were suspended, and many exporters rushed to complete customs clearance procedures. While the United States wages a tariff war to encircle the CCP, Japan has also announced a 95.2% tariff on graphite electrodes produced in China. Due to the impact of tariffs, China's banking industry has suffered $340 billion in credit losses. China's foreign ministry wolf warriors hinted that the Sino-U.S. tariff war would be a long-term struggle. Analysts pointed out that the CCP is sacrificing public interest to maintain its rule. Whaling and holiday notices have swept across China. Is the CCP determined to fight to the end against its own people? Tang Ning of Apollo.com reported that after President Trump imposed reciprocal tariffs globally, the CCP threatened to fight to the end and imposed retaliatory tariffs without regard for people's livelihoods, ultimately harming the Chinese people. It is suspected that more businesses will be forced to close and send workers on leave. On April 9th, many bloggers on mainland social media posted videos and screenshots lamenting that due to U.S. tariffs, overnight numerous Chinese companies and factories have shut down, suspended operations, and workers have been sent on holiday. A netizen in Zhejiang said, "It's normal for many factories to go on holiday or go bankrupt during this trade war. There have already been many tough days this year." A reporter from Guangdong Daily said, "I heard that many factories began extended holidays starting May 1st. One netizen wrote, "The sky is falling. Everything was fine yesterday, but it happened so suddenly. I came to work today and the boss said we're done. Everyone's on leave. We just returned from Chinese New Year, and now after barely 3 months we have to go home again." Another blogger said, "It's too sudden. Yesterday everything was normal, but today there's no work at all. There's nothing to unload on the assembly line. The boss said U.S. orders have been suspended and everyone gets leave starting today. Our factory announced that after today we'll have a month off. Our company is in the same situation. All overseas shipments are suspended." Many netizens commented that they were also on holiday due to tariffs. "Yesterday our boss urgently asked us to prepare goods for delivery. Minutes later, he said it wasn't necessary. The customer canceled the order due to the trade war." Some netizens mocked, "The international trade war has begun, and Trump raised tariffs by 145%. Who can survive this?" Others joked, "It's great. The whole country can go home and rest together." Some also sarcastically said, "The whole nation supports the central bank." In a widely shared video, a Chinese man expressed frustration over the CCP's tariff retaliation. He said, "I really can't take it anymore. Forget raising tariffs, just fight already. Pretending to be tough will only get us killed. Making money should be the bottom line." He added that the U.S. has 350 million people, accounting for 1/3 of global consumption. That means 1 out of every 3 people on Earth who spends money is American. The European Union has 450 million people, yet its purchasing power is still far behind. China, with 1.4 billion people working hard to produce goods, has only 1/5 the purchasing power of the U.S. The data speaks for itself. In the face of an absolutely crushing market, pretending to be tough is the greatest stupidity. You should bow your head and negotiate when necessary and make concessions when it's time. Keeping your job is more important than anything else right now, the man angrily pointed out. Instead of shouting for war and bloodshed, you'd be better off thinking about how to make money by playing within other people's rules. Fill your pockets with dollars first, then talk about industrial upgrading and de-dollarization. Otherwise, it's all nonsense. Now Xi Jinping's ambitions have declined. The slogan, "A community of shared future for mankind," is no longer being promoted. Instead, the focus has shifted to a community of shared future for neighboring countries, which aims to build good relations with nearby nations and use them as intermediaries to export Chinese goods to the United States. But Trump made it clear, if Vietnam wants a zero-tariff trade agreement with the U.S., it must first impose a 35% to 50% tariff on all Chinese goods. When forced to choose sides, these countries are more willing to do business with the United States. Besant stated that China receives huge net capital inflows from the United States each year through trade. Without this money, it cannot survive. He warned that any U.S. ally siding with China on trade issues would be signing its own death warrant. President Trump's tariffs have completely blocked China's path to exporting goods. Compared with the U.S.-China trade war during Trump's first term, the tariffs this time are not only much higher, but also come at a time when China's economy is in worse shape. The ongoing real estate crisis, high youth unemployment, and a looming deflation crisis caused by weak domestic spending are all weighing heavily on the Chinese economy. In recent years, the CCP has relied on exports to boost growth. Last year, China's global trade surplus approached 1 trillion yuan, but Trump's record-high tariffs will undoubtedly deliver a heavy blow to Chinese exports. According to The Washington Post, Mark Williams, chief Asia economist at Capital Economics, said, "The Chinese economy is now more dependent on exports than it was at any time during the global financial crisis. We've seen export demand become increasingly important in sustaining China's economic growth. Now, it's uncertain whether China can meet its 2025 growth target of around 5%. Goldman Sachs lowered its forecast on Thursday, April 10th, citing the expected negative impact of tariffs on China's economy and labor market. Goldman now projects China's economy will grow by 4.0% in 2025 and 3.5% in 2026, down from earlier forecasts of 4.5% and 4.0%, respectively. Chinese exporters are already feeling the pressure. Aaron Gu, 27, who owns a family-run shoe material factory in Guangdong Province, told the Post that he had lost 80% of his orders in the past 3 days. "My clients are not all in the United States, but in this business, you can't avoid the U.S. market. Ultimately, it's the largest consumer market in the world," he said. With no orders, Gu has placed most of his over 100 employees on unpaid leave, another big risk facing China's economy. Another major concern is that Trump may try to block the backdoor China uses to access the U.S. market by routing goods through third countries such as Vietnam or Mexico. Peter Navarro, Trump's former trade advisor, said in an interview with Fox News on April 6th, China, the CCP, uses Vietnam as a re-export hub to circumvent U.S. tariffs. According to Reuters, in response to the 46% reciprocal tariff imposed by the U.S. on Vietnam, Vietnamese authorities are planning to crack down on the illegal re-export of Chinese goods through their territory and will tighten control over sensitive technology products exported to China. Illegal re-export refers to Chinese goods being shipped to Vietnam for minimal or superficial processing, then relabeled as made in Vietnam to evade U.S. tariffs. This tactic is often referred to as origin washing in the trade industry. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told Bloomberg TV on February 28 that Mexico has proposed aligning with the U.S. by imposing tariffs on Chinese goods. He hopes Canada will follow suit so that we can build a North American fortress to resist the flood of Chinese imports. If Beijing can no longer find ways to bypass U.S. tariffs, Chinese exporters will need to find alternative markets. They sell $500 billion worth of goods to the U.S., and if they can't, they'll need to sell them elsewhere. Europe or the Global South, Woodke said. This will trigger an export tsunami, and other countries may start raising trade barriers as well. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and Chinese Premier Li Qiang discussed setting up a mechanism to track potential trade diversion and ensure it is properly addressed during a phone call on April 8. The EU is concerned that China may begin dumping cheap exports originally intended for the US into Europe. As Trump continues to apply pressure, he may expand export controls on products such as advanced semiconductors, machine tools, and biotech equipment, just as the Biden administration has done. This could deal an even more severe blow to China. The Washington Post quoted Bert Hoffman, former director of the World Bank's China office, as saying that for China, access to American technology is even more important than trade. Many shopping and consumption continues to downgrade. As the Chinese New Year in 2025 approaches, many netizens have posted videos saying they have no money to celebrate the new year. Let's talk about related topics today. Blogger ZU Emotion posted that 2025 is the coldest and most gloomy traditional Chinese New Year in history for two reasons. First, everyone is struggling and short on money. After a year of hard work, many people have not only failed to earn money but may also be in debt. Basic expenses have become a burden, and their enthusiasm for celebrating the traditional Chinese New Year has significantly decreased. Second, the employment situation is dire. Many people are back in their hometowns for the New Year holiday, but they are anxious and feel pressured to rush back to the city, fearing they might lose their jobs. Layoffs and unemployment are rampant, making it impossible for them to relax, even though the holiday is not yet over. Returning to the story of going home for the traditional New Year. This year, fewer people will go home for the New Year than in previous years because they have no money. It costs at least 6,000 yuan for me to go back, and I would have to overdraw my wages for February and March. Is this a good thing? I really don't want my debt to snowball. Why not use savings? Are you kidding? Who has savings? Last year, I was completely penniless. The year before that, I opened a catering sideline business and lost 60,000 yuan. Without money, how could I still have the face to go home? How much money did you give your parents for the New Year this year? Tell me so I can envy you. I'm not afraid of being laughed at when I say it, but we may not have a penny this year. For the sake of fairness, neither of our parents received money this year. My husband and I are both ordinary workers. Our monthly salary is only about 7,000 yuan. The monthly mortgage and car loan payments add up to about 5,000 yuan, so we are under great pressure. As soon as our monthly salary arrives, we pay off the mortgage and car loan first, and the rest is used for daily expenses. We can't save money for the children, so we didn't save a penny this year, let alone give money to our parents during the Chinese New Year. The thing we fear most after getting married is the Chinese New Year. Compared to those who earn money to support the whole family, it is difficult for us to save money even when we earn. Fortunately, my husband and I are very optimistic. We are careful with our expenses, but also very clear about the money we should spend. So, after working hard for a year, I still didn't save any money. I give 20,000 yuan every year to my parents when I go back home to show my filial piety. My parents know it is not easy for me to make money, so they don't want my money every year, but I still insist on giving it to them. They put the money into a card and said they would give it to my children in the future. In my opinion, making money to show filial piety to parents is the most important thing for children to do. I don't need to prepare the New Year's goods at home, so the expenses are reduced. I prepared 2,000 yuan for the children's New Year's money, 2,000 yuan for visiting relatives and friends, and 1,000 yuan for eating with close friends. For the New Year, with a new atmosphere, I spent 600 yuan on cleaning myself up, totaling 35,600 yuan. Looking at the expenses and then at my salary, I am really shocked. This is just the stage of having elderly parents and no children. It is said, whether you have money or not, you should go home for the New Year. After calculating, I found that if you don't have 10,000 or 8,000 yuan, you would feel ashamed to go home for the New Year. But what is the New Year? Who do you spend the New Year with? The New Year is about being with your family. Migrant workers have been working hard for a year, just waiting for this moment of reunion. So I think it is worth spending any amount of money. How much money have you prepared? Hello everyone, today I came to Baolong Plaza, the former top shopping mall on Kowloon Road, Pudong, Shanghai. It used to be said that one shop could support 3 generations, but now it's the other way around. The shop you bought is now really one shop that will make 3 generations poor. They are all closed. It is Saturday, the weekend, and it's past 12 o'clock. No one is open. Oh, there is an old Beijing fried noodles shop in front that is still open. Look, they are all closed. It is terrible. If you bought this store at a high price, you are probably crying in the toilet now. It used to be a top shopping mall. When Baolong Square Carrefour was still open, it was really crowded. Now it is terrible. This is the center of Baolong Square. The former Carrefour is in front, and even the convenience stores are closed. Everyone says that consumption has been downgraded, but we also see that the tourism industry in the mainland seems to be booming, and no matter which tourist attraction you go to, it's crowded. However, blogger Lu Ji believes this is also a manifestation of consumption downgrade, indicating that people are unable to engage in large-scale consumption. You are talking about consumption downgrade. Wrong. It's not a downgrade at all, but no consumption at all. No one is outspending. There are still 10 days before the Chinese New Year, yet there are no people on the streets. Only a few customers come into the store daily. Ordinary people really don't have money in their hands. They truly don't consume. If they can avoid buying, they don't buy. If they can buy less, they buy less. It's really too difficult. How serious is consumption downgrade? This is our China Resources Vanguard in Nanchang. It was crowded with people back then. Now, as the Chinese New Year approaches, let's look at the popularity here. In previous years, this place was full of cars. Now, there are only a few cars. It is completely empty. It's 7:30 in the evening. Look at the crowd. How can this be called consumption downgrade? There is simply no consumption. Did you make money this year? Tell me. This blogger from Shenyang said she calculated her average monthly income this year was 7,000 to 8,000 yuan, but she didn't dare to spend because she had no confidence in the future. She said she only bought 3 pieces of clothing this year. In the summer, she spent more than 100 yuan on a black skirt. Half a month ago, on her birthday, she bought a sweater and a pair of jeans because she had dinner with friends in Zhongjie, which cost just over 500 yuan in total. These are the 3 pieces of clothing I bought this year. As for skincare products, I am still using the face cream I bought last year. There's a little bit left, and I haven't used it up. It cost 400 to 500 yuan. I didn't say that I am too poor to buy skincare products, but the biggest feeling I have this year is that I am reluctant to spend money. She said she now tries to save money, cooks at home whenever possible, and rarely orders takeout. It's because this year I feel I have the least sense of security since I started working. This year's work gives me the feeling that you could lose your job even while you're working. A recent survey shows that 80% of Chinese consumers believe they are trapped in consumption downgrade. The general consumption concept among people is, don't buy if it's not necessary. If it is a must-have product, they choose to buy low-priced items. Many shopping malls in mainland China are deserted, and the same is true for shopping malls in Shanghai. There is no festive atmosphere at all. It is December 25th, 2024. I am in Greenland Colorful City, Putuo District, Shanghai, at 1:30 in the afternoon. Can you imagine? I seem to be the only one in the entire mall.
Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We will keep reporting on the COVID surge in China, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get the latest videos. And thank you for tuning in.